This video, this video is an extension of the multi-step equation video. It's going to give us a couple examples of some special circumstances when we have variables on both sides. So when we're solving equations with variables on both sides. So let's start by reviewing. So these are our steps as we reviewed in the multi-step equation video to solve a multi-step equation. And let's review this one solution option like we've seen. So let's do 2/3 times, and we'll review a hard one, plus 6 equals 5x minus a half. So we're going to distribute first because we have to simplify both sides. So that's 2/3 x minus 4/3 plus 6. I don't distribute because it's not in the parentheses. The right side stays the same. Now I can combine these constants. So negative 4/3 plus 6 gives me a positive 4 2/3. So now I can get my variables on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 2/3 x to make nothing. So that's 4 2/3 equals, that's going to give me 4 1/3 x minus a half. Add the half. You get 5 1/6. And again, you can use your calculator for these operations. Divide by the coefficient. And I finally get x equals, and then that division would either give you 31/26, depending on your calculator, or it might give you the mixed number of 1 5/6. Okay, so in the multi-step equation video, when we looked at variables on both sides, we got this one solution. So we were able to get x equals a single number, whether it be positive, negative, a fraction, 0, it doesn't matter, but it just had one single solution. Now we're going to look at these bottom two options here. So there is a possibility that we go to solve a multi-step equation and all of a sudden something happens and we get this no solution, or we get this all real number. So let's look at a couple examples of those. So let's look under no solution, and let's look at what happens when we solve this equation. So we're going to use the same steps, the same process, but we'll notice something happens. So let's do like terms here. So 11 minus 7 is 4 plus the 3x. Then on the right side, we can also combine these. So we get 6x minus 3x is 3x, then add the 5. Okay, so we distribute, we combine like terms, we simplify those both sides of the equations. Now I want to get the x's on the same side. Well, if I subtract this 3x, what happens? Well, they cancel here, but then they cancel here. So now I'm left with 4 equals 5. Well, is 4 ever equal to 5? No, that's a false statement. So if I go to solve a multi-step equation and I find that my variables on both sides cancel out, that's okay, except now if it gives you a false statement, then that's going to mean there is no solution, or there is no possible number that I could plug in for x and get this right here to be a true statement. So let's look at this all real numbers, and you'll see that something very similar happens. Alright, so let's go ahead and simplify. And we're going to distribute here. So 1/2 times 32, that's 16. 1/2 times 12 is 6x And then we got the minus 1. So we can combine like terms. So 16 minus 1 is 15 plus the 6x. So right here you can notice you have the exact same thing equals the exact same thing. But if I go further, you also see that they cancel and they cancel. But now, unlike the no solution open, it gives you a true statement. So if I have the same thing equaling the same thing, then you are going to be able to pick all real numbers, plug it into that equation for both of those x's, and you are always going to get a true statement, no matter what number you put in there. Positive, negative, fraction, decimal, doesn't matter. So that's the difference. So in these bottom two examples, it's okay if your variable term cancels out and cancels out on both sides. Your question then is it true or is it false? And that's going to mean true is all real numbers, false is no solution.